Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's a Wednesday. We're doing NXT again, at least this week, because Dom Mysterio, Dirty Dom, has won the NXT North American Champion. Don't get used to these NXT reviews. We're doing it this week. Sort of, I thought it would be kind of interesting anyways to revisit NXT, but then it was put over the top last night when Dom Mysterio won the North American Championship. Of course, this week, things are a little bit mixed up anyways because we didn't do a show on Monday, so we got to get to our obligation of 5 shows. And so
we got to do 5 shows a week, yes.
Why not
Here we are.
Why not do? Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. Look at us. Reviewing NXT.
For the first time in what, 6 weeks? It's been a while.
It's been a little while. And it's fun to come back to it and see like where it's at because like I've kind of followed along to a degree.
Yeah, same.
But like not super closely. No. Like I knew Nathan Frazier won the Heritage Cup.
Yeah, but I didn't know that Noam Dar was doing like a catatonic thing in response to
this was the first time I had been exposed to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't we just talk about it? Dom won the NXT title. We can do some role play if you want. Me, Triple H, and you, HBK. It seemed like from the episode, I sort of gathered that it seemed like they were leading towards Wesley versus Mustafa Ali.
Oh yeah, that match was booked at Great American Bash. Yeah,
for the Great American Bash, and so. I
mean, Ali said the ink is barely dry on that match.
What do you think?
Contract was signed.
What do you think? Like,
well, here you be Triple H. You're on the phone. You call up Heartbreak, and you pitch the idea.
Doot, 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 doot. Ring, 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 ring.
I do a terrible Shawn Michaels.
He said, "Hunter, hey, Shawn, hey, it's me. Did you get number 1? Did you get your sleep last night? Did you get all 8 hours?
No, probably like 6 or 7.
I'm going to need that North American title. We're going to put it on Dirty Dom Mysterio. Do you have any plans for it? Have you plans for the title?
I don't know if you're paying attention. Great American Bash is supposed to be Mustafa Ali.
I find it funny that we're ripping off old pay-per-views from WCW. Don't we hate that company?
Well, you booked that shit.
Hold on, Dad's calling. Anyways, Dom's gonna win next Tuesday. So just make it happen. Goodbye. Click.
Sorry, my Shawn Michaels was terrible.
No, that was great. We can sort of extrapolate out ahead and see if this was for a particular reason that has to do with Judgment Day. Obviously, right now, Judgment Day is everything in WWE.
Well, I'll tell you, the number one reason this is for is to get more people to watch NXT.
So the match, yes. The win, do you think that's the kid? Do you think that was the major reason, or do you, given especially that they had been sort of building this Wesley Mustafa Ali thing, or do you think this has to do with the visual of Judgment Day, whether it's Finn without the title? My question is this move meant to serve the upcoming SummerSlam match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins?
I think it is also, but I think it serves 2 purposes: to get more people to watch NXT, but also to serve the larger story they're telling with Judgment Day. Now, coming out of SummerSlam, it's entirely possible and highly probable that one member of Judgment Day is going to be without a title. You'll have Rhea with the Raw Women's title. Which one is that now? The
Women's World Heavyweight Championship.
There we go. You got Dom with the NXT North American title. Probably Finn with that World Heavyweight Championship. And that leaves Damian Priest just holding that Money in the Bank briefcase on the outside of a faction that is otherwise draped in gold.
It looks good, though. Like, I mean,
it does look good.
It is sort of the moment where they all have an accomplishment. They all have a thing. Yeah. But it's not gold for him. Yeah.
No, but I guess the other possible outcome would be Rhea with title, Dom with title. Priest cashes in. He's World Heavyweight Champion, and then it's Finn on the outside. And that's going to drive Finn crazy.
If Finn doesn't win at SummerSlam, if we don't get the moment where all of Judgment Day is holding up their accomplishments, title or attaché case, then Priest is going to have the title, and that's the story they're going to go with, Finn not having a title. I kind of feel like it's going to be, and I thought it was going to be the tag titles, but that's why this move was not shocking, but it was kind of surprising. I think it was not surprising, but it was shocking because at that moment it was like, oh my God, they actually did this.
Yeah.
If it's my gut tells me it's going to be Finn wins at SummerSlam. They're all holding up their, either titles or Money in the Bank. And then they're either going to tell the story that you and I talked about yesterday where they're going to slow burn Priest getting impatient with not having a title, which could play into the image that you're talking about, how they've got titles. He's got potential title, but not a guarantee.
Yeah.
And it seems like, as we talked about from before Money in the Bank, if they want to tell the most compelling story, if they want to try to tell a slow burn story like they're doing with the Bloodline, that might be the way they're going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, as mentioned, it was surprising but not shocking, and it's going to be interesting to see how Shawn Michaels has to now adjust his own plans, especially 2 weeks out from a premium live event with a North American title on someone that he may not have planned to have that title. If the idea was to do Wesley, Mustafa Ali, which seemed to be the case because out of the story they were telling that started back when we were still watching it.
We were still watching that. They were doing that, yeah.
And maybe they'll still have Wesley versus Ali at like the go home show. So they get that match in. And then maybe they'll say whoever wins that match will be number one contender to face Dom at Great American Bash.
When is the Great American Bash?
2 weeks.
Oh, so it's before SummerSlam. Okay. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how long Dom has that title. I mean, I don't know if they're going to tell that story between now and the Bash where you've got 3 people with, as I say, accomplishments, 2 with titles and 1 with the briefcase, and Finn is standing on the outside, and that ramps up the pressure on him to actually do something. And maybe that's a story they're going to tell, and then he just won't win against Seth, and then they can find a different way to tell that story, after SummerSlam without the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. Or Damian Priest cashes in at the end of SummerSlam. And he's got that title there, and then you have that story going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's a couple of interesting paths they can take, so we'll see where it leads coming out of SummerSlam. But you got to anticipate Judgment Day is going to be the featured attraction on Raw, seemingly for the rest of the year. I mean, they've already kind of built to that point, but if they're all in varying degrees draped in gold and or accomplishments, there's a lot of story opportunities they can tell there. We got a couple news stories here we can talk about before we get to the NXT breakdown.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, look at that. Cool. Well done.
Let's talk about Seth Rollins. He was on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive. Pretty wide-ranging interview, and during it, Seth detailed a list of ailments he's been dealing with of late, including one that may require surgery. Sounds like could be a pretty significant injury. These transcripts come to you from Wrestling Inc. This is what Seth freaking Rollins had to say. Quote, "There are constant injuries. My knee has been bugging me since before WrestleMania. I was having an issue with that. My neck acting up. My lower back has been at me since 2019. Probably should get surgery on that, but trying to just do whatever I can to make sure I don't need it because I have a couple stress fractures back there. I tried some stem cells. I've done a couple stem cell treatments. I found they were temporarily helpful. I wasn't taking time off. I wasn't just idling while I was on the stem cells. I was still working pretty much a full-time schedule at WWE. I found it temporarily helpful, but long-term, it kind of faded off a little bit. I got maybe 4 or 5 months of, oh, okay.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
So, I know the stress fractures in the back, that's...
oh, man, that's rough.
Yeesh.
I mean, does that itself, that should lend some amount of, I mean, it's funny because we've heard wrestlers say, oh, I'm dealing with this, that, the other. It's like, oh, they're probably going to take a break soon, and they just don't. Yeah. And I could see a guy like Seth Rollins just, working through it all. But, pretty wordy. I'm looking at his quote again here. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he should probably take some time off, and maybe it'll be after SummerSlam when he drops the title to Finn Balor. Yeah.
I don't know how invasive of surgery it is for stress fractures in the back, and how long the recuperation from said surgery may be. If it's obviously, I would think, since we're not talking like discs, bulging discs, or fusion maybe, then I would think it might be less than a fusion surgery of some sort. But then again, I don't know the process of what kind of surgery they do for stress fractures. Maybe there is a fusion involved, in which case you got to wait till that bone grows back, and that's a pretty long recuperation.
Yeah, so kind of interesting stuff. I got to check out that. I'm not like a impulsive fan. I'm not Logan Paul. No. I really have no desire to listen or watch any of his stuff outside of what he does in wrestling. But like, I don't know. I'm probably pretty sure there's probably other good stuff in this podcast with Seth.
I've seen some transcripts, and like Seth seemingly is like open to talking about just about anything. So
that's cool. I know. Yeah, he talked about the Meltzer stuff, the Meltzer 5-star rating stuff. I didn't see the actual transcript.
He just said he just put over Meltzer as a wrestling historian, and just says rating matches is kind of silly. That's all he said.
Says him.
I think he's awesome. Not a content creator, so Seth isn't.
I think rating matches is awesome. You know what else I think is awesome is doing quizzes right now. We did a special collaboration, Friendo Club and Wrestle Juice, over at Friendo Club Wrestling right now, our other YouTube channel. Larson chose the quiz. Triple Crown champions in WWE, and then I was tasked with doing the same thing, and I do that over on Wrestle Juice. So those are available right now. You can check them out right now on our various channels. Be sure to check that out. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, do us a solid, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button and the little notify bell next to it. Also, we got some merch. I'm wearing a hat from our merch store, friendoshop.com. Like it's not gonna focus right, but it says Friendo Club in that weird like heavy metal font.
Yeah, the death metal font.
The death metal shit, and it's all in purple. It's part of our purple line right now.
Purple now.
Yeah, I'm all in on the purple stuff. Love the Judgment Day. Love my deep purple phone right here. And of course, Kings had a good season, so I'm all about that purple stuff.
Yay, purple.
You can get 20% off at friendoshop.com right now using the promo code PURPLE, so you can do that as well. Fitting. That's good stuff. And then in a little bit here, we're going to talk about the latest G1 results as it pertains to the big Friendo Predictions Challenge.
Yes.
But first, let's talk about this, man. Yesterday, towards the end of the show, I caught wind that WWE was sending out some content creators to the premiere of the Cody Rhodes American Nightmare movie premiere, where WWE people were going to be there. And I was like, what? They're sending out content creators? And I wasn't, Steve here, Wrestle Juice wasn't invited? What the hell's that? But then I saw what the deal was, what the scam was, Larson.
Well, it's not the scam. That's what you think. The content creators would be invited out to what? Create content.
Yeah, but like, hey, I'm here on the red carpet. They're whining and dining me. I'm vlogging.
I don't know why you thought that the invitation was to be on red carpet, not just interview people.
I saw Sean Ross Sapp posting, picture of his camera on the red carpet. I was like, better you than me, bub, because I don't like doing that. I am terrible at interviewing people. I have trauma from past interviews. Don't like it. It's out of my comfort zone. I was happy they didn't invite me, but I was kind of upset they didn't invite me as a featured guest.
Well, that was never in the equation.
Well, I thought that it might have been.
I don't know how. I don't know how.
I don't want to stick a microphone in somebody's face.
You want someone to stick a microphone in your face?
I don't even want that to happen. No, I just want to go there.
What do you do on the red carpet? That's the whole reason you're on the red carpet, is to be interviewed.
You just walk around, smile. Anyways.
My old jobs out of college, I did cover a red carpet for a movie premiere, and David Duchovny showed up in sweats and just walked right into the theater.
See, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be Duchovny, man.
Anyway, Steve didn't get to wear sweats on the red carpet. There was a premiere, though. There was also a lot of rumors of a rift between Cody Rhodes and the rest of the elite during Cody's final days in AEW. And on the red carpet, Steve wasn't on. They were invited to for the premiere of Cody's new documentary on Peacock.
Yeah.
Fightful Select asked the American Nightmare if he was still in communication with his former EVPs of AEW, Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Cody responded, quote, without hesitation, that he did, quote, fairly regularly communicate with the Young Bucks, and added that the Young Bucks allowed some being the elite footage in his new documentary, with Cody noting that the film, quote, probably couldn't have happened without it.
I noticed also on Twitter today, I think Sean Ross Sapp mentioned that some all-in footage, and I think some of the NWA Aldis Cody match was included in the doc as well. Doesn't sound like nobody has specified that AEW footage is in it, so that seems to be not the case, even though they do own, I think, All In at this point. But all that's kind of
so, because they have the Ring of Honor library, and Ring of Honor had.
I think they do, because they're able to brand their show All In now, so I think they own. I think they own it. But all that's pretty interesting. I mean, the fact that they're able to use, being the Elite, which we had always understood was owned and operated by the Young Bucks, by the Elite. It's their thing. It's not Tony Khan's thing. So yeah, it should be a really interesting documentary. And yeah. Glad it didn't have to be, if we got the emails like, hey, do you guys want to come out to this thing? We would have had, if it all was paid for and shit, we had to have said yes, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but then we'd be out
now,
there.
If it just said in there, would you like to come and be a part of the red carpet beer of American Nightmare, Cody's documentary? You're like, oh, cool, we get to walk the red carpet.
Right, yeah.
And then you come with your sweats and you arrive, and then like whoever the PR person is that you talk to, and they're like, where's your gear? And you're like, gear?
Oh, my camera gear? Oh.
I thought I was walking red carpet.
Yeah. There's a miscommunication there. Tell me where.
And you're just like, oh, it's right here.
Yeah. Well, these things are as good as anything these days. Yeah.
They're pretty good.
So yeah. Sad that I couldn't go, but happy that I didn't have to work. So.
Well, you weren't invited, so
it all balances. And none of it matters because my dumb ass wasn't invited. Oh man, let's talk about Big Blue predictions. Sorry, it's the G1 Big Blue predictions. Big Blue's not on the line, but the G1
no, it's for advantage.
We need to get a new attaché case for the G1 because we have got the Big Predictions Challenge. Actually, we're gonna tease that. Let's go ahead and pay some bills before we get into that, Larson.
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break here, friendos. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know what, Steve?
Yeah.
I've mentioned this countless times, numerous times here on the show, but there was a period in my mid-20s when, due to a variety of challenges I was facing in my life, ranging from my career to relationships, I started feeling really overwhelmed by life and developed some pretty severe anxiety. Got to the point where my path forward wasn't exactly clear, so I turned to therapy so I could stay connected to what I really wanted while trying to navigate my way through life. Well, it took me a few tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to. Once I did, I learned the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is entirely online and is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. And all you got to do to get started is fill out a brief online questionnaire. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. I just stole your last line there. Somebody asked today.
That's fine.
Somebody asked today in the in the comments of the quiz video if your experiences that you speak about during these BetterHelp ad reads are authentic, and I told them, yeah, absolutely, or 100% authentic.
Yeah.
Totally, not making this
totally
stuff
authentic. Yes. Nope.
So, anyways, let's talk about the G1. Of course, our big predictions challenge over July and August, because the G1 is like endless. It's very long.
Yeah, it really is.
And this is for the G1 attaché case, which, much like Money in the Bank, gives the advantage or an opportunity to steal some predictions Big Blue challenge. You can get to our monthly challenges. You can participate in them by clicking join to become a new YouTube channel member on the YouTube, or you can go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Doing so also gets you access to our bonus episodes and question threads for all of our episodes. We did film our Ask Stephen Larson episode, which is going to go up now on Friday. It was going to go up today, but it's going to go up on Friday now.
Yes.
So you can check that out on Friday. Currently, right now, in the lead, we've got a 2-person tie for the number 1 spot, and it's Maz and the Yellow Flash.
Yeah.
They're currently tied with 20. There's 32 matches that have been completed, and they each got 23 out of the 32.
That's quite excellent. Yes,
which is
the number
nuts.
of upsets, especially the first few days.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Well done.
Cheese Man here in chat says, "I only got 2 points, and I'm kind of curious how Did he actually, Cheeseman? Are you actually doing that terrible, or did you do like what Sandra did and just did it? Because Sandra's also got only 2 points.
Yeah.
But she listed all of hers as draws, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Which is one way to go.
Yeah.
But like Cheeseman might be like, if he's actually trying and he only got 2 points, my goodness gracious. I mean, that's terrible.
I didn't want to say it.
Cheeseman, did you do all draws as well? How many draws do you think happens during the G1?
Usually not a lot.
Is this a strategy?
Maybe.
My goodness.
There already has been a couple draws.
2.
Yeah.
I know how many there's been. There's been 2.
Hence a couple.
You and I are currently tied with a couple other going in Raw luminaries.
Luminaries, yes.
Luminaries like Bree Mode and Kaufman with 17 points. So we are 6 matches down from the lead.
There's still a lot of points, a lot of matches left. The perfect score is 125 points. So there's still 93 points, if my math is correct, to be had.
Yeah.
So plenty of time to make up ground if you're not on top of the leaderboard right now.
The one thing that I've noticed this year from the G1 is that people just seem to enjoy being dumped on their heads.
Well, some of them don't. I mean, I wouldn't say enjoy. Because
I don't know. They're doing it so much. It seems like they are.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of dumping of people on their heads. It's one. Yeah, not a fan of that aspect of it. We were asked. Here's a little preview for Ask Steve and Larson. One of the questions is what changes we make to the G1.
Oh,
less dump people on their heads, please.
No dumping people on heads. Yeah. Automatic. Match is over. Nobody gets any points if anybody gets dumped on their head.
Exactly. Got a couple super chats here. Maritime Scott says, "Love the pod. Here's 5 Nova Scotia bucks."
Oh, that's cool. Thank you very much, Maritime.
If we have questions about maritime law, I wonder if Maritime Scott is the person to ask.
Could be absolutely.
You know, we always want to put a wrestling show on. At least I did. On a barge in international waters.
Yeah, right.
Maritime Scott, the person to ask about that.
Tell me about tax avoidance in the seas. Yar.
So you just want to be a pirate?
I want to be a pirate who doesn't have to pay taxes. Yes, correct.
Wasn't the whole idea? Well, not the whole idea of being a pirate, but isn't one of the idea like the I guess the perks, if you will, of being a pirate is you live on the high seas and therefore don't have a residency and don't have to pay taxes.
Yar. Sounds right. Yeah.
All right.
Duckman also with the super chat says, "What if Finn wins at SummerSlam? Yeah, and loses the title the next night, calling back to him winning the Universal title and having to give it up the next night." I'll be honest, that would suck. I would hate it. I'd be so sad.
It'd be a bummer for Finn.
It's a possibility, though. Priest might cash in like immediately.
That's entirely possible.
Okay, so Cody and Cheeseman, they both confirmed all draws.
Okay.
And that was his strat. He was going for the all zero.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the strategy. We said we would reward somebody for getting a 0. So.
Yeah. I would have, given Cheeseman and Sandra some flowers. Oh, here we go. We got a super chat from somebody named Maggie. Says, "Dirty Dom forever, baby. Long live Dom and Mommy." Yeah. Thanks, Maggie, for the super chat. Maggie's our champion.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Maggie's our champion. All right.
Let's go ahead and dive into NXT. Here's some NXT highlights for you. Tony D gets out of jail. I think he went into jail right when we stopped.
Yeah, he did.
Doing the reviews.
He did.
And that set up a tag match against Gallus. Gallus boys are going to be on top because what's-his-face, Stax, is still going to turn on Tony D. It's going to be
he's still going to be revealed to be the Rat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they had like a plan, but then this is going to be the plan's going to play out of the bash. He's going to turn on Tony D.
Yeah, there's double swerve involved there,
Yeah, right.
Also, Thea Hale challenges Tiffany Stratton to a submission match.
So I don't know what happened between. I know that she lost her match against Tiffany Stratton.
I got the idea that she there must have been a ref bump or distraction. She had Stratton tapping to something.
That's why
Tiffany
they were
eventually
chanting "You tapped." Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: given that we have not really watched for 6 weeks, and what we're seeing now, or what we saw this week. Is there any chance Thea Hale? I mean, I'm assuming she already tapped her out in that last match. Yeah, so this is the match that she's just going to lose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I would think so. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Stratton won the title.
Yeah.
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility to see Thea Hale win. I think it'd be pretty cool because it seems like Chase U is still pretty over.
I mean, dude, if they're planning, I mean, seemingly they've got like the Creed brothers going up to Maine soon.
Maybe, yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be, I don't know, 5 or 6 more call-ups coming up. Maybe Stratton's going to be one of them. I mean, a lot of people, I've seen the sentiment all over, and I kind of agree with it that she's probably ready for Maine. The last episode I reviewed, I think, was the one where she gave that sort of really long, not great promo.
Yeah.
But like, nobody should be tasked with doing that in the first place. But I don't know. I kind of feel like she's probably ready for Maine. It wouldn't shock me to see them call her up, and maybe, dude, that crowd. You want to see that crowd pop? You give that title to Thea Hale.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. We can jump right into it because it involves another great American Bash match for the NXT title happening. Show opened up with Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, dropping a promo. And what happened last week, it was a match between Ilya. There was a match between Ilya and Braun where Ilya won, so he's new number 1 contender. And then it was Trick and Melo taking on Judgment Day. And at the end of that match, Ilya got involved, ended up costing Trick and Melo.
Not just any Ilya. Mirror Universe Ilya.
Yeah, I know. He does. He has the goatee going.
He's got the goatee now,
Yeah.
Definitely a Mirror Universe situation there.
It definitely is. So they kick off the show talking about all that. And Melo says, I want to do the whole I am thing with you. But the truth is, last week I actually did miss.
I am not. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Trick's like, yeah, we should have won. And Melo says, let me break it down for everybody. Judgment Day versus Trick and Melo, 4-on-2. The whole building going nuts. Melo chants. We're seconds away from defeating the most dominant team in WWE, and the number 1 contender decided he wanted to help me. And that's when Ilya comes out and interrupts. And he says, I didn't mean to put my nose into your business, but there's something you don't seem to understand. If Priest had used that Money in the Bank briefcase and cashed in on you, you would have not only lost the match, you might have even lost the NXT title as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have taken it to main roster, and I wanted to prevent that. I want to face you as the champion at Great American Bash. But you let me down the end because you lost control.
Ooh.
Melo says, I lost control. No, the truth is I had everything under control. There's nobody else as ready for you as I am. I saw your match against Braun, know what you're capable of. To be honest,
I've heard that was a really good match, too.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I heard it was
really
good.
I heard that, too. Melo continues, to be honest, I try to understand how you keep up this maniac pace that you do. And Ilya says, there's one thing I do more than anybody else. I always give everything. When I step into this ring, it means something. These people feel something. And all I will make you feel at Great American Bash is defeat.
Mm-hmm.
And then Melo's like, you're telling me you don't think I don't feel the weight of this title. I don't feel the animosity of everyone in the back. I don't feel the criticism of the world just because I hold this. Ilya, I feel everything, and you and me, this is going to be a fight. There's nobody more qualified to face me at Great American Bash than you. But you need to understand, I plan on having a long title reign. And by the end of it, I'm going to be swimming in W's. You're going to feel me because I am Mr. PLE, and I will hit different. And Ilya's like, you're going to have to hit different. You're going to have to hit harder. No disrespect. It takes a lot of strength and passion to hold that title, but it doesn't matter how much of a great champion you think you are. At Great American Bash, the most intense man in NXT will blow fire you cannot control, Melo says. July 30th, blow that fire out.
You blow my fire. So intense. I'm from a mirror universe. After that,
like we don't watch for a few weeks, and he's got all his facial hair now.
Yeah, man, he's got a fancy goatee on him. He wouldn't look out of place in one you ever watch on like in your Instagram feed. Usually, this is where it happens. It's like the one thing in my Instagram feed that isn't like horribly tragic. It's like they'll show like old timey footage from like 1898, like some film footage, like the very first movie
like
ever made.
Train robbery type stuff. Yes.
Right. Yeah. But it's just like a dude sets up a thing in the middle of like a thoroughfare somewhere.
Yeah.
And like somebody will stop and be like, you're looking at the camera like it's it's alien technology, which to them it kind of is,
Yeah. Yeah. It was to them what an iPhone would be if you drop it to someone in the 1980s.
Oh my God. I know. Exactly. So anyways, after that, more talking. Wesley's preparing backstage. Mustafa Ali steps in. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you defending your title tonight against Dom? And Wes is like, he accepted the open challenge that didn't exist. What am I supposed to do? He playing 4-dimensional chess, buddy. And Ali's like, look, man, the ink for our contract didn't even dry for our match. He was like, I don't want to face Dom. I want to face you. Dom's a sleazebag. Plus, he's got like 5 other people with him. And Wes is like, wait, you think I can't beat him? And Ali's like, there's a reason they call him Dirty Dom. He says, plus Rhea's going to be there too. And Wes is like, I'm good. I'm ready for whatever they throw me. And it's like, no, you're not really. And then Ali's like, I want to beat you. And Wes is like, okay, fine. Well, fine. Okay, let's do it. Then we have a little video package for me and Larson because we haven't been watching. Tony D getting out of jail. And we got his little celebration a little bit later. But first, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, who showed up in NXT right after we stopped watching, taking on Nathan Frazier and Dragon
Heritage
Lee.
Cup champion. Nathan Frazier has the Heritage Cup now.
That's right. Yeah, he does. He beat what's-his-face for it? The now comatose Noam Dar. And this is obviously a really, really fun match. But as is true on main roster, similar to NXT, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo are not winning wrestlers. So they took the L here. And then, not too happy with each other, start shoving each other. Humberto shoves Angel to the ground and then leaves through the crowd. And then Angel follows. So, trouble in good-looking guy paradise? Maybe. Seems like it.
Perhaps. I mean, they were doing fine, Garza and Carrillo, until Garza decided to showboat a little bit, ripped off those tearaway pants. It's all downhill from there. After that, we had Baron Corbin video package, and he's got this like a voiceover thing going on.
Man.
So he's like, why wasn't I satisfied with what I had? It was so easy and safe.
Oh, man. I was putting dog food on the tribal chief.
I mean, it was the last, before Jey Uso was the last person to pin.
I had mustard stains all over me. Then I was rich. Then they put me with JBL. Then I was not with JBL. And then he was
back here.
And he's like, it got to evolve or die, but evolve to what? I got to evolve to me. And then they do another Baron Corbin. He's multiplied.
But he's taller.
A taller one, a better one.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you're me? And the other guy's like, no, you're not me. I'm not that tall. Yeah, this was crazy. So is it going to be like Baron Corbin versus Baron Corbin?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be nuts.
Battle himself.
I didn't know the guy.
Who the true Baron Corbin is.
So he stepped through Rawgate or did some sort of ritual because there's like torches and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like burning your I didn't realize that burning your clothes on like a bonfire would generate another you.
I didn't realize that either. Now I know to avoid burning my clothes in a bonfire because I don't want to generate another me.
I do want to generate. Guess who's going to step in and do all the work around here? Other me? New me?
Wow.
That's who I'm sending to Atlanta for the premiere to do the red carpet bullshit.
You were never invited.
Other me might be.
No.
They're like, whoa, there's another Steve? All right.
Does another Steve have a different mailing address? Probably not. Different email address? Doubtful.
Well, the mailing address is going to be the shed in my backyard.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
I'll have to get that its own -A address.
I guess so. A unit number, huh?
Yeah, right. Here's your mail. And the other me's like, Rah!
Yeah, here's your tiny house in my backyard.
Why are there 2 non-working lawnmowers back here? Shut up, other Steve.
Your first task, other Steve, get those to work.
Here's some YouTube videos.
Yes. And he's like, he's like completely unaware of the concept of YouTube. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He has experienced YouTube before.
Right. He's like that dude in the 1890s looking at a filmmaking thing, a camera.
So they made a quick video of NXT Anonymous recording Booker T talking to Roxanne about Blair Davenport because they have a match at Great American Bash.
They should do a thing next week where that new Baron Corbin starts burning some more shit. He makes like 5 more Baron Corbins.
He goes to Baron's refrigerator and burns all his expensive beef.
Yeah, right.
And the original Baron's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
all this beef costs a fortune.
It's like 5 other Barons like lingering about. It's like, what are these guys all doing? Why is that one pooping in the corner over there? Get out of there.
Exactly.
Get out of there. Stop squatting in that corner. We have bathrooms. No.
It's just the plot of multiplicity. Man.
I know. I'm just ripping that shit off. It'd be great, though.
So after that, we had Gigi Dolan taking on Kiana James.
Oh, we had this NXT Anonymous thing, though.
Oh, I mentioned that already.
Oh, I was still on the Baron Corbin stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
you were daydreaming about 20 different Baron Corbin.
100 Baron Corbin.
100 Baron Corbins. 100 Baron Corbins.
100 Baron Corbins?
100 Baron Corbin.
Oh, man. I forgot. These NXT reviews were pretty fun because it's just us talking shit the whole time.
Yeah, kind of. So Gigi versus Kiana. That darn briefcase.
Oh, it's still a thing. The attaché case is still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Yeah,
it's still a thing. So Kiana ducks an STO from Gigi, yanks her down the mat by her hair, and then she goes and reaches for the attaché case.
Mm-hmm.
So then they kind of tug of war with it a little bit. Gigi rips it from her hands, takes a swing, and then James ducks that, and the ref's like, all right, we need to get this out of this match. So he takes it from Gigi. She yanks it back, but in all that commotion, James hits Gigi with a 401k to get the win.
Yeah. After that, we had, what is this? Oh, Axiom and Scripps. My goodness gracious. So Axiom and Scripps apparently are like Axiom doesn't like Scripps from what I can gather. But yes. Scripps is like, hey, we need a tag team together. And so they're arguing with these two giant men. Bronco, one of them's name's Bronco. And
Bronco Nima and Lucian Price.
Which are some really good names. So they're basically GTA characters. That's their branding.
Bronco Nima is a great name.
It is a great name. They're huge. I mean, at
massive.
least compared to these two guys who are probably like 5 foot nothing. And like Scripps is talking mad shit to these guys, and I'm like, these guys could just stomp this guy easily. And it sets up a match for this week. We're gonna get to that in a second, but first we had Eddie Thorpe wearing an amazing jacket, and Mackenzie's like, "Hey, talk about your win last week." And he's like, "I feel like that win puts me in championship content." What was the win from last week?
It was the NXT Underground.
Okay, it was the Raw Underground shit. Okay. So then Metaphor comes in. That's Noam Dar's group consisting of
Noam Dar,
Lash Legend, Oro Mensa. That's the name I was trying to think
Jakara
of.
Jackson,
And then Jakara Jackson. But Noam Dar, so distraught over losing his Heritage Cup to Nathan Frazier, he's basically like catatonic. Like he's like, in a wheelchair. And so anyways, Lash apologizes for Noam having to cancel the Supernova sessions. Oro presents Eddie with a consolation prize, which is an autograph picture of Noam Dar. Eddie's like, no, rips it. Him and Oro talk some shit to each other. The refs come in and break up any shenanigans. Then we get that tag match, Axiom and Scripps versus Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. And at first when I saw these guys, I was like, man, they sort of have a GTA feel to them. And then their branding was
third. Yeah.
Before that, though, I was like,
even before that,
because like, I don't know what it was, like their music or something. Like these guys just have like a GTA feel to them. And then like their branding, like it was literally GTA font, and then their like renders or their like pictures of them like sort of drawn like GTA characters.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But you got to feel like, is Rockstar going to take issue with that copyright wise?
Yeah, who knows?
Probably.
So at one point, Scripps is looking for a tag, and like Axiom is looking out in the crowd. He finally turns around and tags in. But rather than leave the ring, Scripps just stands in their corner. Yeah. And so Axiom puts an armbar, I believe, on Bronco. Scripps then blasts Axiom from the behind and just sits on the top rope as Bronco and Lucian just absolutely destroy Axiom. Bronco hits a running like boot stomp type deal. Lucian covers to get the pin. And then when Bronco and Lucian walk up the ramp, Scripps follows them up.
Like, I don't know if size, look, and at some point maybe promo are going to be what gets these guys ahead. They're going to go far. Didn't see a whole lot in the ring. Like, this is a weird matchup for them because it's not like they're taking on a couple of jobbers who work like a slower pace or something to accentuate what they can probably do. They got them in there with two of the fastest guys in the company.
Yeah.
So they looked a little on the stumbly-bumbly side.
That being said, there was maybe 45 seconds of match before Scripps turned on Axiom.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It wasn't long before that happened, and then at that point, it was just they were destroying Axiom. So
yeah. After that, we had Tony D's homecoming. So the entire D'Angelo family gathers together in the ring. Stack starts the ceremony, blames Gallus for Tony going to jail, and introduces Tony, who comes to the ring. He says, "I'm back, baby."
Suit. That suit was amazing.
Oh yeah, no, he looked like $1 million. He's like, "Listen, before I get started, I got to give a shout out to Stacks, Gabo. I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for this guy. Gallus had no clue what was going on. Hollywood, once you figure out what's going on, here's your next leading man." Referencing, that's current events right there, referencing the strike.
Yeah.
And then he says, in all seriousness, Gabo, most of you thought this man was the rat, But a wise man once told me things aren't always what they seem, so let me show you what I'm talking about. And then he throws to a video package they put together that sort of puts together everything. Like Stax had explained to Tony, this is what our thing's going to be. We're going to act like we're on the, we're at odds and I'm trying to take over.
Yeah.
But that's not really what's going to happen. We're just going to rope in Gallus, to catch them off guard or whatever, to get their tag.
So we have a match to get Tony out of jail.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And get them a tag title bout.
Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, what if Gallus? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So Gallus boys on top come to ringside, and Joe's like, "You two are the lowest fun of life I've ever met. You're scum. Stop you being scum. Tony, you might be a free man. You're going to wish you were back in that cell because I promise you it's a lot safer for your big eyes right now." Tony's like, "Joe, that face you got right there, that's the face of a man who had control but just lost it." It's actually like, just like Mark and Wolfgang are going to lose those tag titles at Great American Bash. And Tony's like, "Go home and get your shine box. Shine those titles up real nice because the D'Angelo family is going to take the NXT tag titles." And Mark's like, "You think you can pull off another Skymet Bash? When it comes to tag titles, we're that serious." And Wolfgang's like, "Because you screwed us over, you're not even going to make it a bash." And then Gallus gets in the ring. Joe pulls out a club. I was like, man, I wish he pulled out a gat. That'd have been amazing. But to counter the strength of Club, the rest of the D'Angelo family pulled out a bunch of crowbars, which is a pretty great comedic spot.
Yeah,
they all throw down. The D'Angelo family comes out on top, and they hold up those titles high.
Yep. Then we get Trick and Mello. They're chatting backstage. They walk up to Schism, and Gacy tells them there's no need to target our nourishing family with their negativity. This union will dissolve. Talking about Trick and Mello will dissolve as soon as you lose that title. And Mello says, "That's funny because I ain't losing this title." And Ilya walks in, and Mello's like, "Gosh, you again, Ilya." And Gacy's all like, "Oh, hello, future champion." And he continues, "We can all sense the tension, and it's very alarming." Ilya then calls Gacy insufferable.
That was a funny line. "We can all sense the tension, and it's very alarming."
And then Drake then takes credit for Ilya coming to NXT in the first place. Says, "You crossed the bridge that we built to get here." And then they all start fighting. So I'm guessing 6-man tag match next week.
And for some reason, James Drake was wearing like a really baggy gray shirt that had all sorts of sweat on it.
He's probably working out in the gym. They're like, "James, we need you to come over to shoot this video thing right now."
He's like, "Didn't I ask for my release? Why didn't we lose the loser leaves town match? We want to lose town." They should have pulled the finger poke like they did like a Swerve-a-Rooney, but they lose. They intentionally lose,
and then they lose and they're out there. Now he hides in the corner of the gym just doing like deadlifts, hoping no one notices.
You know what that shirt looked like? Again, when you're on Instagram and it's like they're trying, for some reason I get fed ads for like shirts. It's like, "Do you have a dad bod?" I'm like, "Yeah, why are you shaming me?" And it's like, "Here, wear this shirt. It fits perfectly." But there's like, don't get a shirt that's too tight and don't get a really baggy shirt. And that's what that shirt looked like. He had the too baggy shirt.
Yes. Yeah. He had the double XL.
So maybe on the side, he's like,
XL.
triple. I think it was like a triple. Maybe on the side, he's filming those Instagram ads for T-shirts that don't fit.
That could be. That's entirely possible. Making setting up his future employment opportunities while he's still waiting for his contract to run out.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, he's like, "I don't want to go to AEW, but I do want to film Instagram ads."
Because that's where the money is.
Real quick here, RedTube became a YouTube channel member.
Thank you, RedTube.
Thank you, RedTube. I enjoy your content. And then WS Fletcher, also a member now. Oh my God, for 51 months.
No way we've been doing this that long.
I had no idea that was even possible. Maybe this channel that we have here, because remember when we got this channel 3 weeks ago, we bought it from somebody else because it already had so many subs.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a member here back then for what that channel was.
Yeah, it
was, if I recall correctly, it was a Philadelphia cheesesteak channel, aficionado channel. I'd hella sub to that shit.
Yeah, that sounds really good right now. W.S. Fletcher says, "Thanks, guys, for the special NXT review. Honestly, it was my favorite review for the jokes alone." Thank you so much, W.S. Fletcher. Thank you.
If it did, but we gave all of our goofiness and fun to those reviews of NXT, and I'm sorry, but like they just never performed all that well.
Next up, we had Thea Hale taking on Elektra Lopez before the match. They had a picture-in-picture promo from Lopez, and Lola Vice signed with WWE a while ago. I know she was on Level Up back when we were still watching. I don't know how long she's actually been on NXT Prime. So Lopez says, Thea, you're trying to be a submission wrestler, but I have an actual MMA fighter in my corner. It's Lola. Lola says, Thea, you have as good a chance of beating Lopez as you did Tiffany, slim to none. And then Lopez looks for a choke bomb pretty quickly in the match. Thea counters with the Kimura. Lopez taps.
Yep.
And then Duke and Thea grab mics. And Thea says, I feel unstoppable right now. I just tapped out Lopez. She tapped out the same way Stratton tapped out. I want a chance at NXT wins title. I think I could do it. I know I can do it. And Duke tells her, calm down. That's how you feel. There's only one thing left to say. He starts a rematch chant. And so Thea calls out Stratton. Stratton comes to the ringside area. Says, first off, you don't call it the champ. It's rude. And I'm totally superior to you.
Wow.
Super cute how you learn one move and you think you can conquer the world. You want a rematch? I accept. I mean, why wouldn't I? It'd be like the easiest title defense ever since I already beat you. And Thea says, fine, but I want to add something to this match. I want to make it a submission match. And at this point, Stratton gets in the ring. Stratton says, you can't add stipulations to matches, and you can't make me do it. And so Thea puts the Kimura on Stratton. Stratton's tapping out, but Thea's not letting go. So Stratton says, fine, yes, you can have your submission match.
Under duress. I don't know if that's going to hold up, man.
Yeah,
who's does NXT? Oh, yeah, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, they've got he'd be like,
authority figure.
It's not going to be a submission match. You just admitted to that under duress.
Yeah.
Anyways, probably going to happen.
I don't know what kind of how Shawn Michaels is going to respond to that, though. You think he's going to overturn that?
He's probably in a bad mood because of the Dom situation. So yeah, you know how people are when they're in a bad mood. They're just more apt to like, no, I don't care. It's a submission match now.
Just say whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I don't like this job anymore. So after that, we had Dom and Rhea talking backstage. The D'Angelo family walks up to them, and Tony's like, hey, Dom, Benny from the dock says hi. And Dom says, Benny, what a guy. Like they knew each other in prison. And then Rhea looks over, and then a woman walks up to her, and then we all realize, oh, wait, that's Lyra Valkyria. Didn't recognize her without a gray clouds over her head and like fake rain coming down.
And a bunch of feathers.
Yeah, I didn't. That was the thing. I didn't recognize without the feathers. And then Rhea says, hey, I've been telling everybody that you're a badass, but then you let JC beat you down. Was I wrong? And Lyra was like, I mean, yeah, kind of. No, she says, no, you weren't wrong. And Rhea says, well, you better show me. And then Lyra says, next time in the ring with her, I totally will.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Then we had Gable Steveson video package where next week he's going to decide his future.
Yeah, I ain't watching.
Do you
that
care,
shit.
Steve?
Nope, don't give a fuck. Hopefully his future is not on my television.
Yeah.
After that, we had Oro Mensah versus Eddie Thorpe. So yeah, in this one, Dijak showed up. So they did a whole thing where like they're on the outside, of course. This was great. Lash Legend took Noam Dar's lifeless body. It was like Weekend at Bernie's. She just rolled it into the ring.
It really was
for a distraction.
He's just laying there, not moving, and the rest like, get him out of here.
Yeah, he was like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Oh, it was pretty funny. And so yeah, Dijak just hits Thorpe with a massive boot.
That's right.
Yeah.
That match is going to be good. Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe. That's going to be a fucking good match. Yeah.
So then Lash and Jakara get Noam out of the ring. Eddie gets in the ring just in time to beat the 10 count. And then Oro hits Eddie Thorpe with his finisher, that spinning heel kick, to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. After that, we had a Dana Brooke and Kalani Jordan video package. And Kalani is upset that she lost to Cora Jade, evidently. And Dana's like, hey, you know what? You just started here. Let's do some tumbling. And then Dana's like, you're about to break out. And Kalani says, I'm learning a lot from you. And so, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And then we see Cora watching that segment backstage on a television. And she just talks some trash. And then she gets upset and hits the locker with her kendo stick. And I think their rematch is going to be a kendo stick match.
God, in my head, it was a baseball bat.
No, she always carries the kendo stick.
Oh, my God. Oh, is it a black kendo stick or a regular one?
Yeah.
That's going to be why.
Yeah.
It fooled me. I thought baseball sticks were like 3 feet longer than they are.
Baseball sticks.
Baseball bats. I'm telling you, I'm still in the 1890s, man.
You are. You're playing.
Hey, you want to play some stickball?
Yeah.
Hey, Joe. What are their names? What's Gallus boy? Mark Coffey. Joe Coffey. You want to play some baseball, some stickball? What a fucky stick boo. Don't tell me about your fucky stick boo. Any opportunity to do his accent, man.
Exactly. And then we had a Blair Davenport, Roxanne Perez split screen interview. Early on, Vic brings up the NXT Anonymous segment from earlier, and Blair's like, I'm not NXT Anonymous, ain't me.
Yeah.
And Roxanne just says, well, Booker was just giving me some advice. And Blair's like, I thought Booker T liked you. Wasn't it bad enough that I left you your lifeless body in the ring last time we wrestled? Now I got to do it all over again in front of your friends and family. She says, this division is for grown women, not little girls. And then Perez is asked what it's going to take to beat Blair Davenport. Perez says, I'm tired of people thinking I'm an easy target. There's been a rage building inside me. And Blair, you're only adding to it. I got to walk into Great American Bash in front of my family, control my anxiety, and show a side of myself that no one's seen before. Blair, you don't know what's coming to you. Blair says, I don't believe you. I don't think you have that killer instinct because I haven't seen it. The people know that I have killer instinct because they have seen it. By the way, Austin, where Great American Bash is at, it's a short drive from Laredo, Texas. So when I beat you, you could just go home because you don't belong here anymore. And Roxanne gets so upset, she takes the mic off and leaves.
Ooh.
And Blair continues to talk more trash.
Do you know if this is Blair Davenport's first match since she's been back?
No, I think Blair's already beaten Roxanne.
Oh, has she?
That was the implication I got from this interview, yes.
I'll be honest, I did not pay attention to this interview at all.
At all?
No, not really. Roxanne, there's something about her when she speaks. It's just sort of like, It doesn't come off as all that genuine. And so I just sort of tune out a little bit. She's a really good wrestler, though.
She is an exceptionally good wrestler, yes.
Yeah.
All right, White Brownie says she beat Roxanne a couple weeks ago.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, people asking what my beef is with Gable Steveson. Just Google him.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio versus Wesley was our main event, and that match was up next. On the sloppy side here sometimes, putting Dom in there with a guy like Wesley. Man, I wonder, do you think that they're loading up NXT with these guys sort of in the Wesley mold? Mm-hmm. Axiom, Scripps even, Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Super athletic. Yeah. Guys.
Is that, main roster doesn't have a ton of those guys. Not really. Mm-hmm. Like, number one, I probably wouldn't call it the cruiserweight division because I feel like there's some baggage with that. Yeah. But it got me thinking, man, they should really come up with like another. And I'm never really an advocate for coming up with titles for the sake of titles, but WWE could really use something like a cross promotional or a cross.
It'd be something like an X Division title.
An X Division title. That's exactly what I was thinking.
A belt dedicated to a particular weight division.
Right. Yeah.
A belt dedicated to a particular style or approach to wrestling.
Even a guy like Dijak, because if you remember, like Samoa Joe was in the X Division back in the day. Yeah.
And
because
it was like the guy his size out there doing suicide dives and stuff. Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is crazy. Dijak sort of reminds me of that. When Dijak comes up to main roster, he doesn't necessarily need to go after the Intercontinental or the U.S. title, but if there was a title there for guys who just put on fucking crazy-ass matches, like half the people in NXT are now, I think that would be pretty interesting. But I wonder if Dom and Wesley being in the ring together, Dom hasn't really been on main roster in the ring. And even Ray, I mean, it's not like Ray is when he was 20 years old. I know Ray still moves really fast.
Yeah.
But not Wesley fast. Mm-mm. Wesley is ridiculously fast.
Yeah, he is.
And I wonder if maybe there was something. Dom is so used to like the WWE main roster sort of style stuff.
Yeah.
They don't really do that in NXT. In NXT, they let them go a little bit faster and a little bit harder. Yeah. And I wonder if maybe it was lost in translation. That's entirely
possible. Yeah, I mean, I imagine pace and timing is a lot in terms of hitting moves correctly in pro wrestling. And if you're used to a certain timing, that timing is then accelerated, you have to kind of compensate for that. That might not exactly be totally smooth.
Bonkers brings up 3 names, one of which I agree with, and that's Ricochet. Ricochet is like the one guy, but even Ricochet, I mean, like he has to slow it down a little bit when he's in there with pretty much anybody else.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does. He watched some of the stuff he was doing in Dragon Gate or New Japan. Or before coming to NXT.
Oh, it's not even close to what he was. Yeah, for sure.
He's moving so fast. So going back to this match, Lee hits Dom with a tornado DDT, and Dom rolls out of the ring. So Wes Lee's looking for a suicide dive. Dom evades, picks up the North American title, and is like, "This is mine now." Walks towards the ramp, and as Dom is going around the corner towards where the ramp is, Lee hits him with a dive. Then he puts Dom back in the ring, hits a corkscrew splash, but then Finn gets on the apron and tries to get in the ring just to distract the ref. While that's happening, Priest gets in the ring with a North American title, takes a swing at Wes Lee with it. Lee ducks, hits Priest with the cardiac kicks, and then Wes Lee goes to the corner and sets up for a cardiac kick on Dom. And while he's standing there in the corner, while the ref is still distracted, Rhea hits Wes Lee with her title. Dom covers Wes Lee to get the 3 count and the win.
Yeah.
And then Judgment Day rushes in. They're just...
Oh man, and honestly, it's as if and I know like at this point it's not really them breaking character because so much of their characters seem to be like just them all amped up, but the joy on their faces, the way they celebrated in that ring was so I love to see that shit. I love when this is Dom's, because I know he won the tag titles with Ray, but I think this is his first singles title. Yeah. And that's a special moment for them, and it's a special moment for him, and it's sort of validating just how good the work that he's doing is so good these days.
It is. And hats off to Wes Lee. He's the longest reigning North American champion. He's had the most title defenses.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And did some fantastic work. As North American champion. So hats off to Wes Lee on a hell of a run as champ.
No, just and I don't know. I mean, it might be that this is a short detour, and he'll get it back, after whatever they want to do with it, leading up to SummerSlam, because it seems kind of clear that this is just being used to tell, to further Judgment Day story. But I love it. I think it's great. Dom's one of my favorites, and hats off to WWE for doing this.
Yep, totally. You want to answer some questions?
Let's answer some questions. Let's see.
Cruz here says, name a wrestler past or present who has great ring work and can put on bangers, but you can just never get behind their gimmick. Wow, Cruz says, with me it's Seth Rollins.
Oh, that's interesting. I can kind of understand that. I appreciate the hell out of Seth Rollins, but I could see if that's not for everybody.
Someone's a good in-ring worker and puts on bangers, but you can't get behind their gimmick.
I know they exist.
Everything Dolph has done after like 2013.
Okay, yeah.
Well, no, when he was sole survivor in that Survivor Series match, that was pretty cool. Everything after that, though.
I think in the history, I liked him for that 1 second when he cashed in. Was it like 2012?
Yeah, 2011, 2012, that era. Yeah.
But like when he was rolling with Big E and AJ Lee, I liked that Dolph.
Yeah.
But everything since then has just been like a sad. Like that, there was that span in 2016 when he had the retirement match. Yeah, that was really good.
That was a good match.
Dolph needed to go away. Like in order to remain relevant in WWE, he really should have taken some time in either promotions, other promotions rather, or just be gone for a while and reinvent himself. Because the only reinvention he ever did was, I'm the gatekeeper. And then remember there was that time when he would come out with like symbols and go psh, psh,
his gimmick was, I'm purposely annoying. Yeah,
right, which is terrible. Yeah. No, that's probably, but you're going to get a good match out of him.
Yeah, no, I remember that bit where you sued him with Goldberg.
That was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. John Hosey asks, "Is Dom's journey been one of the best in recent memories?" Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see his growth as a performer from when he first joined the company to now. It's been something else. Andrew Samps, do you think the Dom winning the North American title has any implications on Finn's chances of beating Rollins, or does this mean Finn and Priest may snag the tag titles now? No, someone in Judgment Day is going to be without a title after SummerSlam. But who?
Let's see here.
Blake Whitehouse says, sorry, why is it every time you guys stop reviewing something, the show always gets better? I don't know if that was the case for Impact. When we stopped reviewing that, it's because Scott D'Amore wasn't there anymore. And neither was Honor No More. And it wasn't as good.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. Yeah, when Santino took over as GM, I was like, this isn't really as good. And I'll be honest with you, when watching NXT, I'm not going to say that it's taken a significant improvement. Like I for a while now, I've appreciated what NXT does, but I don't know. There's something about like the presentation still like is off-putting to me, and yeah, I don't know. It's still not must-see to me.
White Brownie here says NXT 746.21. It's up a little bit with Dom.
746.
It's up about what, 60,000 or so? 60, 70,000.
That's cool. That's good. That's good for them. That's awesome.
It's a little bump.
Mm-hmm. KM Davis says, assuming they got utilized properly, which would benefit the company more? AEW with WWE Women's Division or WWE with AEW's Tag Division? Well, right now, I feel like WWE is doing a better job utilizing across the board their divisions. I feel like the women's division in WWE has, over the past like month or so, has taken a couple steps in the right direction. Their tag division, I think their tag division's even taken a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. I'd say WWE with AEW's tag division. I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch.
That would be fun. Mondo here says, rank these wrestlers based on how good a chance they'd be to beat Roman for the title. So you got Jay, Cody, Seth, Gunther. So Cody's obviously number one. He's got the greatest odds of beating Roman for the title.
Yeah, I'd say it's Cody number one.
A massive gap.
Yeah.
Then Jay. Then Seth. Then Gunther.
I would say, like, extrapolating over like 2 years, I would actually give Seth a better shot at beating Roman than Jay. I think you're absolutely right. I think he got his win at Money in the Bank, and I don't think that it's going to happen. As much as I would love for it to, I'd love for them to trick us and swerve us and he wins. I don't think it's going to happen. Just don't think it's going to happen. But I could see Seth, like, if they don't do Cody at Mania, I could see it being Seth.
Could be.
There's so much history there. And I remember when Seth said, people shouldn't just be able to waltz in here and then take the title. Talking about Cody.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe that's a philosophy they're going to adhere to. I could see it being Seth.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A lot of these questions I'm not reading because we've already really extensively talked about.
Frozen Tape has an interesting question. Do you feel ratings will slightly drop after the Bloodline story? I guess it depends what else they have going on. I think right now people are enthused about WWE's product, and will it get 3 million potentially for a quarter hour after the Bloodline stuff? Unless they come something as equally as intriguing, maybe not, but I don't think they're going to see a massive dip. No. If
they focus all their efforts into a Prime A, or a lot of their efforts, the same efforts they're putting into the Bloodline, into a Prime A storyline, it's really hard to replicate because Roman has got so much history and he's doing such a great job. It's going to be hard to replicate that. So there will probably be a dip, but if like you said, if they can focus their energy on, at least one great anchor story, then I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
But this is a generational story.
It really is. I mean, it could be an all-timer.
Strife says, tonight, if we see a Kota Ibushi is all elite graphic after the show, how safe is it to assume the elite are re-signing with AEW?
Oh, I think it'd probably be a pretty good shot that would happen then. I would be pretty surprised if we saw that graphic because I know Kota Ibushi said he's not interested in signing long-term deal.
I would be very surprised if we saw that because of what you just said. If we did see it, I don't think it says one thing or another about the elite. I think they're so far away from. I mean, I know there's like been talk that they've had like conversations or whatever, but I don't know. I don't think that one person being there is going to. I mean, is it going to move the needle in one direction or the other? Maybe it'll move a needle, but I don't think it's going to be the end-all, be-all.
And also, if there is that graphic for Coda, I doubt it's going to be a situation where he signs like a 4-year deal.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
It's going to be like here, Kota Ibushi's all elite. When he's free and he wants to come wrestle in the U.S., we'll call him.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Floppy says we'll end on this one.
Okay.
He says, is Dom winning the North American title a sign to go back to reviewing NXT? Nope. We're not doing that. Just in case there's any ambiguity about this, we try to be as transparent as possible.
One-time deal.
This is a one-time deal. And at very least, like, look, if something huge happens next week and we find reason that it could benefit us to do so, we'll do so. But this is a 1-week situation. Next week is a new week. We're not adding this back to our schedule.
Nope.
So, yeah, we are going to do, though. John Chambers here says, Great American Bash Watch Along. Didn't we agree to do a Great American Bash Watch Along?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
I'm down for that. That not a review afterwards, but a watch along.
Just hang out and watch, yeah.
I'm not going to do it. White Brownie asked for Blood and Guts Watch Along. I'm not going to do that tonight.
No.
So, we will be back tomorrow, though, for our AEW Blood and Guts review. So be sure to join us for that. Should be a good one. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.